All right, so this is another fan fiction idea, and this is one I just kind of thought of. I've done this one before, but hey, never hurts to dust off an old idea. And as you can see from the title, it is Predator versus Creature from the Black Lagoon. This is one I always thought like of the horror, like if you could put like horror with the classic Universal monsters, it's this one that always made the most sense to me, as well as like Jason and versus Frankenstein. I don't know, it's just like these two especially like really connected. Anyway, um, so let's get started with the video. So the story basically is that a predator has come down to the Amazon, to hunt, that whole spiel. But at the same time, there is there's a scientific expedition deep into the Amazon that will repeat the 1954 expedition into the Black Lagoon, because geography has kind of changed as of like over 80 years, and or excuse me, like over 60 years, and essentially that the Amazon is shrinking more and more, and they're looking to find the lost Black Lagoon, which was documented by survivors. Everyone knew it was a thing, and of course the creature, who was last seen in 1956 after his gills, he was made more human-like. So we are keeping creature revenge, and the creature walks among us in canon in this story. So this expedition is going deep into the Amazon, because they're like, what if it's like, people always said like, it was always the last of its kind, but maybe there were more, and maybe there's other untapped species, undiscovered species in the Black Lagoon. So they're following deep into the trek of the Black Lagoon, and of course, at the same time, there is a predator who is in the midst of his own hunt. Like the predator encounters a jaguar, kills it. There's also where he fights a anaconda and skins it. But then he sees like the boat, and the funny thing is he sees the name of the boat is the Rita 2. So Rita 2, obviously a reference to the original the Rita. And the predator's curious, but he's not like seeing anyone worthy of like being hunted. They're not like carrying, and they're just kind of carrying like harpoons and other things. And at first, the predator's like gonna go on the boat and just start killing people. But then he's like, no, it looks like they're gearing up for a hunt of their own. So the predator's just like, he's just kind of like sitting in the trees, just kind of like hanging out on a limb and contemplating of what to do next. So the predator just kind of comes to the decision that, all right, I am just going to wait to see what happens next, and I'm going to follow them. So the predator follows behind, and eventually the science crew does find the Black Lagoon. They do rediscover the Black Lagoon, and nothing has changed. It still looks as primordial as ever. And they're hoping that they're like, well, maybe there will be another like Gillman-like creature here. Maybe there was more than just one. So as they're like putting out sonar and things like that, they're basically like also mapping they also land on the shore and just start like mapping geographical areas. But they always have this feeling that like they're being watched. They just feel like they're being watched, and they don't know if it's like illegal loggers who have been sighted in the area. They don't know if it's like some kind of animal, or if it is the Gill Man. So they're as they're like mapping out the area and keeping everything, trying to keep their wits about them. There are illegal loggers in the area, and for those who don't know about illegal logging in the Amazon, they kill you to get that wood. Giggity. So we do have illegal loggers, and they're like, we can't have this. They'll probably try to protect this area or whatever. I say we go in there and kill them all. Keep the women for ourselves, and butcher the men. Take what we want, and then we'll be able to bulldoze this area for good. But as they're like gearing up and loading up on all guns, they didn't bring any friends, because the predator is like, oh yeah, these guys I can hunt. So the predator just comes down, starts just butchering them left and right. And as the last guy, who's just standing there with a machete, he's just like, come on, kill me. And he's standing at the river's edge, and what explodes out of the water is the Gill Man. Grabs him, pulls him underwater, just starts ripping him to pieces. And the predator is just like, oh, that's new. Like, that's a new thing. I like that. I really like that. So the Predator, like, goes to, like, approaches the river's edge. He's, like, using his targeting system to, like, try to figure out where it is. But the water's, like, messing with his sensors. So he's just like, can't fight, it's too dark. I can't find it under the water, and it's cold-blooded. I can't pick it up on scanners. So I'm going to have to wait for this one. So the Predator leaves, but now he knows this is what he, this is the ultimate prize for him. This is what he wants to hunt. So the Predator waits for another time. Meanwhile, the scientist crew, they heard gunshots the other night, and they go to investigate, and what they find is skinned bodies. They find everything. And one of the locals, who's like their guide, is like, back what, I remember stories in, like, during the 80s in Guatemala where, people would find, like, bodies torn to pieces and pieces of them missing, and it would always be like, they would always say the jungle took them. And there's even stories here in, like, some of the smaller villages of Brazil that when it gets really hot, especially during the summer season, the jungle spirits come alive and take those who are, take only the strongest warriors. And of course, they're all like, that's just superstition. Maybe it is the Gill Man. And some of the others like, motherfucker, do you know anyone who would do that? Like, have you heard any reports of the Gill Man in the time as from 1954 to 1956? In those recorded encounters with the creature, did you ever hear stories of, like, it attacking locals and killing them like this? This is way too intricate. I think it's, like, time to go back. But when they go back to the boat, because they're like, this is might be a little too much for us. We'll have to come back. But now we know where it is. We know where the Black Lagoon is, and we can start. And we have some samples and specimens to, like, showcase, and also we can protect this area now from logging. However, as they get back to the boat, they discover the engine's been wrecked. Yeah, the Predator decided, nah, you're not going anywhere. You guys are the bait. So they're trying to figure out how to rebuild the, try to fix the engine. But that's when the Gill Man comes aboard and proceeds to just start attacking people. Because, you've invaded. He knows what's going on. He's not going back to civilization. So Gill Man climbs aboard and just starts killing any scientist he can find. And that's when the Predator just whispers, over here. Gill Man turns around, the Predator, like, tries to shoot at him. Gill Man ducks out of the way. And that's when the Predator, like, decloaks himself, wrist blades at the ready, and roars to challenge the Gill Man. Gill Man, roars back, and the two just proceed to just swipe and attack each other. It's a brutal and bloody fight between the two of them. And everyone else is just like, what the fuck? All the other surviving humans are just like, what the fuck is going on? What is going on? But in the midst of it, the Predator and the Gill Man just keep, like, fighting and slashing at each other. Gill Man then grabs the Predator, pulls them both, like, over the boat, and proceeds to just keep fighting. Now he's in his element, and the Predator has to, like, start taking off gear so he's not, like, weighted down. So he's trying to fight with, like, spear and wrist blade in hand, as the Gill Man is, like, now moving faster and attacking him from every which way in the darkness of the water. So eventually the fight does reach. The fight continues into the creature's grotto, where the two of them are just in the midst of a battle. The Predator is now, like, he grabs his shoulder cannon, just starts firing at the Gill Man. He nicks it, but he does hit a low-bearing part of the cave, of the cavern, and everything just starts falling down as the two monsters, in classic Universal monster fashion, are still fighting as everything is falling apart. The remaining scientists do get the engine up and running again and proceed to just head back to civilization, as they're like, I don't even know how to, like, describe all that. What the fuck was all that? And they're just like, well, we know what it's out there, and there's something more. But cut back to the destroyed grotto, and the Gill Man climbs out of the rubble, roaring into the air as he's holding the Predator's head in his hands, in his webbed hands. So there you go, guys. That is Predator versus Creature from the Black Lagoon. Yeah, just thought I'd dust this off. But yeah, you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of it? Like it, hate it, comment below, let me know. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the multiverse.